We were graced with the good weather for it. That's rare in Redwater, you know, even in the summer. I'm sorry the ceremony was so matter of fact. Mother thought it would be best not to draw attention to it.
It's fine.
I know you obviously imagined something different for when it would eventually happen to you.
Said it's fine.
Right. You know, even in different circumstances, I think I still would have enjoyed something subtle like that.
I'm happy for you.
Eliza,
I think I should call it an early night.
Of course. Good night. Oh, Eliza. Mum, Aunt Marge is staying at mine for the time being, so I'll be sleeping in her room upstairs.
I'm not sleeping there.
No, I know. I didn't want you to worry otherwise.
I wasn't worried. What's good for it is bad for me. What's good for it is bad for me. Who's to say what's good for me? Aunt Marge, Dr. Nathaniel, dear husband of mine. If they knew I had the odd compulsion to eat algae, they'd chalk it up to the cravings. Good for the baby, they'd say. Promotes healthy growth and tastes. If you can satisfy a craving, do it. What's good for it is bad for me. 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 What's good for it is bad for me.
Eliza? What are you? What? Stop! What is this?
No, I'm really hungry.
Okay, just calm down.
I thought that it was closed.
Eliza, listen to me. Eliza, I'm trying to understand you.
What's not to understand?
You tell me.
Why should I?
Well, because we're family.
You'll have to forgive me, but the track record of telling you people what's been going on hasn't exactly done me any favours.
I'm not like those people.
Oh, you can't fathom what I think. What I know.
Surprise me then.
No, that's not how I'm playing it this time. You surprise me.
Okay? When you lead a life on the sea, you tend to gain your fair share of superstitions, your own madnesses. You see things that can't be explained, and you can try to ignore them or convince yourself that they're not real, but you keep seeing more.
So, you think I'm mad and seeing things?
I think that you're suffering and alone.
I'm not a doctor. You're a fisherman.
And because of that, I know there are some things in this world that can't just be explained.
If you don't mind, I'd like to eat in peace. I'm yet to pick the bones clean.
Look, I can see now that ignoring this was a mistake. And I am sorry. I really am. I can try to explain this all away, but that's not going to help you. I could tell you 1,000 tales of what I and others have seen out on the water. Okay. Arnold Hemingway. Before you got here, before any of this happened, what if I told you he didn't pull a jerry up from the sea? What if I told you that instead he caught something inhuman and monstrous? You wouldn't believe me, would you? If I told you that his wound was clearly not made by any blade, you'd say it was a fish or a seal that he caught. And if I told you that that wound eventually festered and bubbled and led to him losing his leg in the coming days, you'd chalk it up to a poor diet and blame me and call me mad just for good measure. Now, after everything that has happened to you, and I am so sorry for everything that has been happening, what would you say he encountered?
Something impossible.
Yes, something impossible.
Something impossible is happening to me, Lawrence.
I know.
Can you help me?
I can try
How?
by believing you. Okay. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal, Lawrence. It's a huge deal. For the past few weeks, I've thought that I was mad.
Maybe we both are.
Oh, maybe. But I couldn't care enough to actually know. I suppose I actually ought to go to bed now.
Yes, of course. Is there anything I can do for you?
No. I'm not sure feeding into it is such a good idea.
Eliza, does indulging it help? I've been talking to my mother. She's been telling me about your dreams, the pain and the discomfort that you can feel. If it wants you to do something or not do something. If you hadn't listened to it just now, would it have hurt?
Yes.
Okay, we can't get it out until it wants out. We can't ignore it forever either. Whatever the solution is, you can count on me. I promise. Okay, I'll clear this up. You just try to get some rest. Good night.
Good night. Still not dreaming. Look, it's a lovely gift, but I don't need any gifts. Listen, you'll get what you want from me, and then we can just be done with each other. Go away!
Can you look at me, please?
Depends. Are you going to keep glaring at me?
I've every right to glare at you.
Put words to the anger, Mother. I can't read your mind.
You're feeding her delusion.
I'm listening to her.
There's listening and then there's frightening the poor girl with your ghost stories, not to mention you're making her hide from the truth.
What truth is that then? That I raped her? Go on. Say it.
I reacted in the moment. Nathaniel's look got into my head that night. Nathaniel now knows that she's 5 months pregnant and only been here for 2 of them, so she's clearly done this to herself before she came here.
Most likely.
So why are you indulging her?
You want me to look a young woman in the eyes and make her confront what's happened to her, whether she wanted it or not. It's her business. If she wants to tell me the truth, then she can. But until then, if this brings her any comfort, any at all, who am I to push at her? It's not harming anyone.
Think of the baby. What if when it's born, she's fallen too far into this lie, she'll never want to mother it?
She's not going to mother it regardless.
Don't say that.
I'm not arguing this again. She doesn't want it. You can have it if you're so inclined. It's either that or adoption.
How can you be so cruel? It'll have barely had a life to live and you're happy to ship it off, to be without their family.
Yes.
Blood is blood, Lawrence. That's how I've always raised you. That's how you've always been. What's changed? Why don't you care for this child's future? Oh my God. You believe her.
Don't be stupid.
It's written plain as day. You actually believe her. Are you that smitten? So attached to her that you will allow her to rot in there? Open your eyes, boy. Have you even stepped a foot in that room and taken it in? It's damp and stinks of rotting fish all the time. Clothes strewn about and unwashed. Just the other day, when I was rifling through, I found a half-eaten dead rat with a chunk
You
of
went into her room? Why?
Don't you dare dodge my questions.
Don't go in there again.
If I believe you'll get to the bottom of this, I'll do what I
I
think.
am warning you, Mother.
You're all batty. You, that girl, my cousin, willing to go along with anything if it makes life more interesting. Wake up, Lawrence!
I am wide awake, Mother. And you do well to stay asleep if you know what's good for you.
You can't talk like that. Remember what Nathaniel said. We'll have to go to him for help. Again.
You would love that, wouldn't you? There's a chance for you to get yourself checked up and made to forget all the shit that goes on in this town.
You'll never help May by doing it this way.
What? What did you just say?
I said you'll never help Eliza by doing it
No,
like this.
no, don't lie to me. You said May.
No, I didn't.
Well, when May fell in.
Enough about May. I didn't say May. May is gone, and she's never coming back. Not after
What happened to her mum?
Enjoy the madness. I'm done with it.
Are you alright?
She she really knows how to push my buttons.
Most parents do. You told her you believe me.
I didn't have to. She figured it out by herself. And then she goes into your room.
I sort of knew about that. She's not very subtle. I just pretended to be asleep.
You should have told me. I would have put a stop to it immediately.
I guess I wanted her to root about.
What for?
To find things. Not the things she thought she'd find, of course. No. Love letters. Explaining my secret London romance, or diary entry talking about my past traumatic experience before I came to Redwater. Nope. All she'll find are my drawings.
Of?
You don't want to know.
If I may, I'm fully with you, but you do scare me sometimes.
So, what are you going to do, now that she knows you believe me?
Absolutely nothing. She's not going to do anything. Don't worry, anything that she would say to Nathaniel or anyone else would just reflect poorly on her. The mad widow and her mad family.
True.
Oh, the rat that she found,
Now that was me.
that was you.
The other me.
All right. Ooh, ooh. I know exactly what we can do.
What's that?
Where is it?
Hurry up.
Have you ever eaten freshly caught fish?
The cheek on you.
What? Maybe there's something about telling off my own mother that's got me all giddy. But have you?
To answer your question, I have actually. I just hope that you can catch something quicker than my father.
Oh, there's someone to beat. Challenge accepted then.
Not only that, the real challenge is, can you catch anything tasty? No offence, but your ocean is red.
Not further out. We'll set up at the pier. It stretches out past the alley.
Oh. That'll be quite nice actually.
Excellent. Let me gather a few more things. You pop that on, it's going to be chilly down there, and I'll meet you outside in 10.
Out the front. Thank you. So, what are you going to catch us for supper?
Bass, maybe trout. Plaice are pretty common this time of year.
What's that?
There are flatfish, ravenous little bastards. What you need to do is you get a weighted bait and you drag it along the sea floor. They hone right in.
You definitely know more than my father.
Thank you, but this is my job. Although line fishing is the hobby side of it. I mean, the crab boxes and the nets, sure, they bring in the money, but they lack intimacy.
Intimacy.
Hush, you. Right, let me put it this way. Right now I am hunting, plain and simple. I'm trying to catch one fish so that I may eat it and have a full belly by nightfall. Not for money or some big quota. I alone am the consumer.
That's
Poetic?
a bit strange.
No.
Lawrence, I've been very open with you.
Have I not with you?
You have.
Okay.
But there's one thing Aunt Marge said to me. It made me curious.
Nathaniel's help.
If you don't want to say, that's okay.
It's okay. As I told you before, this town has its fair share of superstitions, and it goes beyond Nazis in the water, that's for sure. Out there in the tide, you can get messed up. I had it easy, mind. Got my mate Arnold, Hemingway. After he lost his leg, he set himself up in the lighthouse. He didn't set up the Blitz Watch for the good of the town, he did it so he wouldn't be alone up there at night. He had his lighthouse and I had Nathaniel. He was my dad's best mate, you know. They fought in the First War together. Dad, he died in Nathaniel's arms. So I suppose he feels this obligation to set me right, which when my mind was swimming with images of Arnold's leg, and I eventually drifted out into imagining what could have done that to him. Let's just say Nathaniel had to drag me back to the shore, kicking and convulsing.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Don't be.
Have you ever fallen in?
A few times. It comes with the trade.
What was it like?
After the first time, it's not so bad. It can be a bit disorientating, but you just have to keep your eyes closed and swim up. By the time I breach, the boys are always there to pull me back on board.
What happened the first time?
The first time was different, because I kept my eyes open.
What did you see?
Nothing. Which is so much worse, because
You knew there could be something.
I couldn't see, but I could hear. I could hear this shifting of the water, the low groan of something just out of sight. It might have just been the sound of the boat above me or the waves kneading the surface of the water, but it didn't matter. Because I knew there could have been something else, something...
Impossible.
When you deal with the impossible, Eliza, you draw on your own deepest fears, your nightmares. And that's when whatever's down there becomes personal, like your own boogeyman. And there may not have been anything there, but there could have been. And I know I would have been powerless to stop it. This wasn't my domain. I wasn't meant to be here. I was the invader.
And then?
Then I crawled back on deck. I couldn't approach the railing for a solid week. Pissed the boys off to no end. I was useless on deck.
And nothing happened after that?
Aside from gaining a deep fear and respect for the ocean, no. You can't have one without the other, in my humble opinion.
Interesting. So the ocean can't have been red.
Red? Would you... Eliza, get away from the water! Eliza! Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you alright? Jesus, I couldn't see you. I couldn't... Are you okay? The cold.
I'm fine.
Are you sure? That water's freezing.
I'm quite warm, actually.
Oh, God. You know, I meant it. You scare me sometimes. Let's get you back home. The sooner we can get you there, the sooner I can draw myself a lovely warm bath.
Lawrence,
Yes?
I have something for you. Your mother said you'd be down here.
What's this about?
Just read it carefully and respond immediately. Your co-workers have already been informed. Ma'am.
Lauren? What does it say? Lawrence? What does it say?
They're setting up food provisions in Redwater. They don't need fishermen anymore. It says I'm going to the French border. I'm going to war.
Thank you.
The sea, Eliza, the sea, it doesn't come up this far. Eliza.
Go back to bed, Aunt Marge.
Have you considered we've had a few wet spells lately? The ground's all moist. It could have just grown.
No, Nathaniel, no. It was just her window. The stuff crept up from the sea. It did perfect line of it right to the waters.
I'm sure there's an explanation.
It sprung up overnight.
There must be.
Can you explain it then? Nathaniel.
No, but that doesn't mean there isn't an explanation.
Well, what are we to do then?
Pay the Hemingway kids 2 pence each to get rid of it.
No, about Eliza.
Well, if she's so frightened of it, I'm sure she can move up into Lawrence's old room.
But that's the thing. She isn't frightened by it. She's so calm. Like she's not quite there. She insists on having her window open every night. Don't stop it, she'd say. Let it in or it'll let itself in. She's mad!
Maybe?
Does she need,
No, not that. Never that. Not after Lawrence.
What, so we just let insanity run this house then?
It's run it as long as I can remember. Why stop now?
Nathaniel.
She's due any day now, you know.
So?
It's been here 3 months, Madge.
Well, like you say, she must have conceived the child before she came here.
That's when I thought she was 5 months pregnant. It's been a month. She's expecting. Do the maths.
Well, you said there must be an explanation, right?
There is no explanation.
Early. She's simply incredibly early.
Early does not mean the child grows too quickly. It means it comes out underdeveloped. If that held true for this situation, then not only would she be half the size, but the child wouldn't survive. It's very much alive in there.
Stop that. Stop looking like that. Like it's not just a baby, like you know something.
I don't know anything, Madge. That's the worst of it. I feel for a kick. I go for the imprint of the head. I don't get that, Madge. It gives me nothing. Other than that, it is still. It gives me nothing besides the knowledge that it is alive. All too familiar symptoms.
So, madness is truly burrowed into you then?
It's always been there. Can we stop lying to ourselves for once?
Stop this. Stop trying to make sense of the senseless. Stop trying to convince me of this impossibility. If I admit that this is real, Nathaniel, things can never go back to the way they were when family would visit, when we'd bathe on the stones, when we'd jump from the pier. Everyone in this fucking town is terrified of its shores, but not me. I still walk the beaches, I still pick the shells, I still go swimming.
Yet never wear its red, do you, Madge?
No.
And why is that? What are you afraid of?
I don't know.
Good. And I think you ought to stay that way for us.
So, we do nothing.
For now. But when the time comes, I'm going to need you to trust me again.
Again? I've always trusted you, Nathaniel.
Do you remember Maze Labors?
Maze Labors, I wasn't there for when Eliza was born.
Not Eliza, Madge. Can we please stop lying to ourselves? Can we stop pretending?
Oh, those Labours.
I asked you to trust me then. Maybe you shouldn't now. The crimes I've committed in pursuit of ignorance. Misdiagnosis after misdiagnosis. I'd like to think I could wave it all away by justifying that I was sparing them their sanity, when in reality it was my own mind I was trying to preserve. Arnold Hemingway, scurvy. May, stress-induced miscarriage. Eliza, anxiety caused by her own actions. Arnold losing his legs and his way of life. May never returning to Redwater after her incident. And now Eliza, who feels she can only turn to the sea for help.
We were all complicit. The signs were there. They always have been, but it's
Different from the last time.
May was already pregnant when she fell in.
And falling in that water killed it. By month's end, what came out of her was nothing but meat. Did I ever tell you that it was an equally fast development too? She hardly showed up upon arrival. Soon after the fall, her stomach was fit to burst. Felt like it popped from the slightest prick of a needle.
Oh, enough. Speak no more of it.
I will not go silent again. More is at risk, don't you see?
No, I don't.
They dreamt the same dreams. Their bodies reacted the same way. Even their mannerisms are familiar, I imagine. Do you not recall the viscera May pleaded to consume daily?
There was a half-eaten dead rat in Eliza's room.
May herself snatch a seagull from the window once. I watch her lead it over with breadcrumbs at her home. She's about to feed them, when really she wanted to feed herself. Mind you, she never ate it. I didn't let her get that far.
So, what is different then?
May came to Redwater pregnant, and touching the water destroyed the child. Eliza became pregnant by touching the water.
What the hell is it? What is in our water?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
But for you, of all people, to stay willingly ignorant, to not seek the truth that eats away at this town, how is this better than having answers?
Did you know that humanity has been active on this earth for 300,000 years?
Oh, what are you talking about now?
And yet recorded history dates only 5,000 of those. To forget what came before is to live. We are not for better or worse by not knowing what came before, but we most certainly are alive. Thriving even. Who can tell what would if we knew the whole truth of it?
May knew the truth, and it broke her, and it could very well break Eliza too, if what you're saying is true. When she gives birth...
If she gives birth.
But to do that so
If
late...
Eliza saw clearly, she would want it done, Madge. She wanted this from day one, but I denied her. May would want it done too. And trust me when I tell you, we do not want to see the end product of this curse.
So, when?
Allow me a few days to prepare what I need to ensure Eliza's survival. Then simply say I've invited you both to mine for refreshments.
All right. For Eliza.
For us both.
tomorrow. Just you wait and see.